I read from John chapter 20, from verse 1 to verse 14, as an admonition for the Easter celebration this year. He reads, and I quote, John chapter 20, from verse 1 to 14. Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the entrance. So she came running to Simon Peter and the other disciples, the one Jesus loved, and said, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we don't know where they have put him." So Peter and the other disciples started for the tomb. Both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent over and looked in at the strips of linen lying there, but did not go in. Then Simon came along behind him and went straight into the tomb. He saw the strips of linen lying there, as well as the cloth that had been wrapped around Jesus' head. The cloth was still lying in its place, separate from the linen. Finally, the other disciples who had reached the tomb first also went inside. He saw and believed. They still did not understand from Scripture that Jesus had to rise from the dead. Then the disciples went back to where they were staying. Now Mary stood outside the tomb crying. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb and saw two angels in white, seated where Jesus' body had been, one at the head and the other at the foot. They asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" "They have taken my Lord away," she cried, "and I don't know where they have put him." At this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not realize it was Jesus. Yes, it's another season that the entire world, or let me say Christians around the world, celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. But there is need for us to ask ourselves this question. And the question is, which Jesus are you celebrating? From this passage we have read, I will show to you two types of Jesus. Number one is the Jesus in the tomb, and number two is the risen Jesus. Though Mary was zealous, Mary was passionate about serving Jesus, but sadly, she was looking for the Jesus in the tomb. And whereas the real Jesus had risen. The world today is full of people who are still serving the Jesus in the tomb. The Jesus in the tomb is a dead Jesus. Is a Jesus that is limited by time and space. A Jesus that is confined into the tomb. And there are so many people around the world today who believe Jesus can only be found in the four walls of a building called church. The reason Jesus is a Jesus that is not limited to the four walls of any building. So whether there is lockdown in town or not, the reason Jesus is everywhere. The reason Jesus is the Jesus that is alive and is everywhere. So, serving him at this season, even when the doors of the churches are closed, serving the risen Jesus can never be closed because it's never limited by time or space. So I encourage you, as we go about the celebration of Easter this year, fix your mind on serving the risen Jesus, not the Jesus in the tomb. Let there be an understanding in your spirit that the Jesus we are expected to serve, the Jesus that brought about our Christianity, the Jesus that gave birth to the faith we profess, is a risen Jesus. As we go celebrating this year, may you find the risen Jesus. God bless you.